Here we go. It's another episode of Zest for Life, aka Fresh Mark Scents. The best scents on the market, or maybe just the only ones that you ever need. Here I have a capsule collection of 169 fragrances and counting, not really counting. I just stopped at 169 because I like the number. Anyway, so what am I doing in a suit? I am talking about date night fragrances or first time date fragrances because when I was out on the street, when somebody asked me what is your favorite scent after saying that I do fragrance reviews, I said that's a very difficult question. Give me an occasion and I'll give you a fragrance. And they said date night or first time date. And I thought, okay, so my first impression is you want something that is attention grabbing to have a good first impression. You want to not be overpowering, that's the second thing, and not upstage the woman who's probably already wearing a fragrance. If you like to wear fragrance, maybe your partner is wearing a fragrance already, and that is slightly attracted you, but you don't want to upstage them by wearing something too much. So, attention grabbing, not upstaging, formal and quite fresh, but approachable. So, not upstaging sort of comes in with the approachable. And we're going to try and do these two things, not upstaging and approachable, and not lose our finger in the process because I look like John Wick, I just realized. All right, carry on. So, the first thing she said is, how about Sauvage? And I thought, wow, I love that fragrance. Do I? Well, I love that fragrance on first impression 2007 or whenever it came out. I love the smell of it. And after a crazy experience by being in the wrong place at the wrong time, I don't like absinthe anymore. I mean, I could go into it. I mean, I went into a club where I just followed everybody in after the end of the night. And somebody said, are you sure you want to go in? Are you sure about that? And I said, why don't I want to go in? I mean, if all my friends are there, why don't I want to go in? And I say, I went in there, and then, long story short, the whole place, it was the wrong type of bar, and I was just upstage, and then somebody just went real close to me, and their breath smells of absinthe, and it almost, I just sort of, well, I didn't really dodge it, and that was the problem. And and I was running, and I was running. I didn't really know where I was going, but I was running, and my mouth smelled like absinthe, and I said, "No way, no way. That is just something I can't go about." So I do like the scent, but it does remind me of absinthe because eau de toilette is that. And that's probably why I prefer the eau de parfume and the perfume. But I do enjoy the fresh scent of Sauvage. And I thought, what else gives that clean impression? So let's get on without going too deep into it. Another fragrance that, because this is a bit basic and a lot of people will be wearing it, let's take that out of the equation and let's say, what else can we wear? She also said, Creed Aventus. And I mean, that was popular, but I think it's a bit basic. I didn't want to say it, but I slightly agreed. Yeah, it was a bit basic to say because it's the first thing that you would think of, and it's just the most expensive. It's sort of like the iPhone of fragrances. It's not really the best, but it's the most known, and it's the first thing people could blurt out, and they say, "Oh, do you have? Oh, you own fragrances? Do you have Creed Aventus?" And I said, "No, it's not about that." Here is a great alternative. Cedra Boise by Mansera, a great house that is made by Francis Mason Kurdijan, who is the maker of his own fragrances. He has his own fragrance house, which is very popular, and this fragrance house is made Mansera by him, and in collaboration, a French company and Arab company who wanted big, bold fragrances that last for about 9 hours as a minimum. And this lasts about 9 hours. When I spray this, I get Creed Aventus, but I get a little bit more orange and a little bit more orange, just about as much pineapple. Sandalwood, the fruity jasmine, orange, pineapple, apple, jasmine, leather, It's very nice. Some people say the leather is a bit ashy, but I think it's just the same as any other leather of the time. It was, well, you have to try it at Harrods. There's testers in Harrods. Next one, because we've got a lot to go through. So this is if you want to smell like Creed Aventus, Cedric Boise. You can have Sauvage Eau de Toilette if you like, but I think it's a bit basic in my opinion. One of my favorite fragrances, and I think exudes sophistication, class, and personality, is Tom Ford Black Orchid Eau de Parfum. The original Eau de Parfum. It has notes of cacao, which is like truffle, dark chocolate. You have jasmine, iris, the best iris. I mean, I just love this iris. This iris with the cacao is almost buttery, smooth. It's very nice with ylang-ylang. They do have ylang-ylang, which is a buttery, smooth note. Sandalwood, which keeps it creamy. A little bit of tonka bean, which is like milk chocolate mixing with the dark chocolate. And finally, a touch of civet, which is like an animal musk, which makes it leathery um, without being overpowering and clashing with the chocolate notes to make them off, as in some perfumes. So this is a very sophisticated and soft perfume. It may be overpowering with the jasmine and iris, but I think it wafts very softly in the air, so it's not really going to cause you any trouble with that. The one that I did recommend on the way was an office fragrance because I didn't want anything overpowering but clean and fresh, and letting somebody know that you're wearing perfume but you have easy taste. You know, you don't have extravagant taste too much, but you wear perfume as a hobby and you don't let it say dictate your. Well, if you wear perfume brashly, well, you're not doing it, you're not being pretentious, let's say. You're not pretending to be something you're not by wearing the perfume. You just wear it casually and as a daily thing. That is Victoria's Secret for him Platinum. Yes, Victoria's Secret perfume for men. This gives accents of steely grey patchouli, yet it's not cold because it has Sichuan pepper, which warms it up, and tonka bean and sandalwood, which gives it a creamy finish, but it has a mineral freshness with cedarwood. So it's spicy, it's fresh, it's cool, it's formal grey, yet it has a touch of sweetness. And that limey bergamot in the opening is very awakening and refreshing. So definitely one to breeze your morning through. So it would just, if somebody smelled this, it would uplift them. It would make them feel at ease. It would make them feel cool, and it's not really creating any friction. It's very mass appealing. It's hard to dislike, let's say. So it's a very clean fragrance that's hard to dislike. Check it out. Victoria's Secret for Men Platinum. Next one, because if it's a first date, I want everybody to have the budget to afford a perfume. Why not? Check it out. Halloween Man X Shot. Halloween Man X Man Shot. Very strange title. I don't know. But so this is an iris scent with iris vanilla and a special note of lemon daiquiri, which is a little bit fancy and sort of has a nice zing to it. Ah, yes, that iris and vanilla melts smoothly like butter. It's creamy, soft. It almost smells like violet, but it has a little bit of lemon and black pepper punch to it in the opening. Fantastic. That's all the notes there. And a touch of jasmine, but that lemon daiquiri makes this interesting, and there's a touch of leather to make it just masculine enough at the end to make you feel like you're wearing a clean, freshly showered, and sweet smelling men's scent. So that is very nice. It's masculine yet sweet and easygoing. That is a budget option at £17. This is about 120 for 120 ml. This would be 179 for 100 ml, but now, I mean, I bought it for 70 because I bought it at a discount for 100 ml. This is £50 for 100 ml, and Sauvage 200 ml. That was about 115. I do like it occasionally. Next one, because I have to get the price out of the way, is something that is not overpowering, very sweet, very alluring, and draws you in. So something that would be approachable, yeah, and sweet and soft. Dior Homme Intense EDP. Fantastic. I invested in 200 ml of this because the musk mallow is a very soft. It's another iris scent. I think iris is fantastic for dates and first meets because it offers something sophisticated, soft, something that you don't smell a lot in men's perfume or somebody who's confident enough to wear it. It's like a man who's confident enough to wear pink or a slightly, let's say, feminine shade. I mean, the whole world is made in different shades. I mean, what if I was purple? If I was born purple, I mean, would I stop wearing pink? You know, what's going on? Well, actually, purple and pink, that would be mad. But I think that's a fashion faux pas, isn't it? But anyway, but I probably still wear all the colors of the rainbow. People don't choose what color they are, but you know, they can wear all sorts of colors, and it shouldn't feel feminized or whatever by it. But somebody who's confident enough to wear like a coral pink shirt, whatever, it's like the same thing. You're wearing something sweet and floral, so you're giving out that same aura of confidence. I hope you understand what I mean. But this is a beautiful iris fragrance. The musk mallow in here creates a smoothness. There is cedar in here. It's not as rough as in other scents, but it slowly uplifts you with that mineral freshness I talked about, which is almost a mineral freshness is a sparkly note with a woody, dry, woody base. But this doesn't feel too dry because of the tonka bean and musk mallow, which is almost like marshmallow or like a cloudy, sweet, ambery note. Fantastic. You're going to try it for yourself. Dior Homme Intense. It's a fantastic scent. This is the more pricey option. This is definitely the budget option in comparison. I got this for £21. You can get it for £27 online. This comes for about £90 for 100 ml. But if you invest in it, you can get it for about £115 or £150 for 200 ml, and that is definitely worth it. Next on the list is another thing that I mentioned, the last thing I mentioned before I left this fine person, Dolce Gabbana Velvet Amber Sun, because they mention spicy. And I thought, I do like spicy scents, but I don't want to smell like turmeric or, you know, overwear the spiciness so it flares up the wrong aura in my chemistry. But this is a fantastic scent that I tried in Harrods. Dolce Gabbana Velvet Amber Sun. Vanilla scent, opening up with vanilla and ylang ylang, and in between it shows all the facets of vanilla in a very deep and rich way. I was to spray this. Instantly hit with pepper, smoke, vanilla, ylang ylang, the 4 different resins used, which is Myrrh, Opamax, Labdanum, and Sweet Myrrh. You also have, fantastic, you also have notes of iris in here and tonka bean. There's so much going on in here, but the meld of tiny bit of bergamot to create a waxy, buttery finish with the opening with the yang ylang, and moving into a smoky mid and the sort of creamy vanilla and sandalwood base. This is a full perfume in that you can actually smell the top note, the middle note, and the base note. All of the notes in this perfume, and it really transfers from one note and one section to another, one stage to another. It's fantastic. It's a very luxurious perfume. So if you want to give the aura of richness and They say vanilla is an aphrodisiac, but I don't really get into it like that. I think that the aura of comfort that vanilla brings warmth and actually draws people close to you. The comfort and softness of vanilla brings people closer. Next one that I put out there is definitely on the expensive side. Um, the next one on this list is a Mancera fragrance because I didn't want to do all the Mancera fragrance in one go. But before I do that, I'm going to mention why eau de parfum, because this is another non-offensive perfume going along in the same lines as Dior Homme Intense. This opens with an apple note and a very fresh sage and geranium note. So geranium keeps it sparkly fresh. The bergamot on top is zesty, limey, and awakening, like the platinum, and then you get the sparkling note of geranium in the middle, and the sweet musk of amber and musk in the base. Let me just spray this. I think I remember that correctly. I want to mix my vanilla with my apple too much. I don't want to smell like an apple custard tart. Not too bad. But so this is it's opening with very crisp apple in that you feel the juiciness of the apple because it opens with that limey bergamot. So it feels like you're just biting into it because you get the apple, the musk, and the sweetness and the juice of the apple. And in the first note, almost feels like you're really taking a bite of the apple. And the musk gives you that freshness and that revitalizing, sort of sporty, fresh, and clean effect. This is fantastic in summer if you want to keep the tempo and not make something that's so warm that you might fall asleep. That's great for winter, and this is great for summer to revitalize somebody and keep the energy going. Next, so these are two soft ones. I don't know how I'm going to fit this in the screen, but let's try. Where there's a will, there's a way. Another one that I want to recommend for the spicy side, because I'm going cool, spicy, just to switch it up a little bit. That's my order, and that's how I thought about it in a way. I always think about the opposite side and how to challenge my own views. That's how it that's how the video sort of transpired to be in this order. Next one is a spicy one, but I didn't want to recommend it because it's discontinued. Whoa. Okay. Gentlemen Only Absolute by Givenchy. Now, this is one of my favorite scents when I was 19, and I thought I had to have it. Just before it got discontinued, I bought a 100 ml. I usually don't believe the hype, but I really got sucked into it because I said, no, it's my favorite scent since 19. It is my Spice Bomb alternative. Sorry about that, cap. It does get stuck in here a lot, but this is a real one. It's just really a bad cap. Anyway, so the spray is quite good, and you get a metallic saffron and sandalwood scent. Saffron, sandalwood, and metallic notes. Now, the metallic notes don't actually sound that attractive, but metallic notes mixed with that refreshing and revitalizing bergamot, which is airy, smooth. There is some tonka bean in the base. Guys, that is almost smooth like a night cloud. That's what they're doing here with that metal effect and the saffron. They're making a juxtaposition between the searing heat and sweetness of saffron and the mineral sparkling effect of cedar in the base and mineral notes on top. So they're almost resting the heat on an effervescent top note. So really plumes out. The distribution on this is the projection on this is fantastic. The top notes, whereas the spicy notes are held quite close and the warm notes are quite close. I think this is fantastic for winter and summer, but cool summers. This really shines in a very cold weather, though. It's better for cold weather. Definitely check it out. If you have this, let me know in the comment section. Much love to you guys. for buying this before it's come out. It's one of my favorite fragrances. Wow, I just had to shout out this fragrance. Whoa. Don't want to drop the last one in the world off the edge, whatever. So, next one, Mansera fragrances. The fruity, the fresh, and the lively. If somebody came up to you with Mansera oud blue notes, smelling like pink lemonade. I'm talking about pink lemonade. This is like sweet lemonade, which is almost mixed with that pink bubble gin, whatever. You know that it's like a uh, liqueur for girls, whatever. It has like little sparkly unicorn dust in it or whatever. So it's like that lemonade with that in it. So it's got grapefruit, lemonade, driftwood, sandalwood, tonka bean to keep it sweet, for mixed fruity notes, which include. I'm gonna have to spread this again. This is funky. This is beyond funky. This is beyond funky fresh. This is the holiday fragrance, the best ever. Is fruity fresh. I'm not talking about cheap, fruity. It smells like pink lemonade, and then in the beginning it smells like ocean blue lemonade because it has that blueberry smell, and then at the end it smells like pink lemonade. So it is a very fancy, different, smooth perfume. You have to try out at Harrods if there is a test of Oud Blue Notes by Mansera. I think it's one of those perfumes that even if you blind buy it, you wouldn't feel bad about it. But let me just explain it. Blueberry and lemon in the top note, mixed with violet to keep it smooth like an ocean. There is sea mineral notes like sea wave notes, as if there is a ocean. There is sandalwood. There is a touch of labdanum to keep it. There's supposed to be a leathery note, but I think it's more of an afterthought at the end. Then you get into the pink lemonade scent of it, which is very sweet and almost fizzy. The pink vibe comes from the violet mixing with the sea mineral notes, and then the lemon making it sweeter, and then the sandalwood comes in with a touch of almost like a white floral effect because the sea mineral washes over the sweetness of pink lemonade, and the fuzziness of that smells like white floral. But that is drifted down into driftwood and sandalwood to make it creamy and fresh, effervescent, sort of pink lemonade fuzz ending. So like a pink lemonade cloud at the end, which is not too bad actually. I thought it'd be more feminine, but it's quite fruity fresh in a fun holiday kind of way. Pink lemonade and sea minerals. It's fresh in a beach way. So definitely check it out. Oud Blue Notes if you want to feel like you just come off a beach, even if you just stroll down London streets, which is kind of boring most of the time. So why not love it up with Oud Blue Notes? Next one for the spicy man who can't afford 280 for 100 mil. My most expensive fragrance, I think. This is Oud Vanilla by Mansera. This is a saffron and floral scent with sandalwood too. This has black pepper, oud, sandalwood, mixed florals, which are pink florals. Very sweet and spicy. This is my favorite spicy scent, I'd say, because it gets the balance right. Because the oud is quite tamed. It's not too bad. It's not like too sour and hard to get around, hard to understand, and a bit off-putting. It's not out there, not in your face. It's a smooth, rich oud note, which is slightly exotic because you recognize it as oud, but it's not overpowering. So it's you've got some tame, smooth, floral oud going on. It's exotic, it's fresh, it's sweet, it's exciting, it's intriguing, and it's slightly masculine too because it has that black pepper punch. You know you're wearing a men's perfume, but a woman could wear this too because it's just smooth enough. Now, if you like your floral perfumes, which are gentlemanly, soft, romantic perfumes, for those men that are still out there, I think chivalry is dead for most of them, but and they probably killed most of them off. But let's just keep our imaginations alive. And I'm going to put this in the spicy section and Try to not comment on that. Next one is the royal people, the gentlemanly, regal. This is well, it's the floral element here is violet. You talk about, you know what? The floral element in this is violet, but the fragrance that I really wanted to talk about is like a floral scent, but it goes into the sweetness of amber and tonka bean. Amber Fever, I'm going to get back to Royal Vanilla because that's a violet scent. That's got its own review. You could check that out if you want. Mansura Royal Vanilla. Amber Fever is a tonka bean and whiskey scent. So you get whiskey, white floral, and tonka bean. Out of Amber Fever and Precious Oud, which are very similar, one has a tiramisu note, and this is making it more white floral and less whiskey. And I think that this is slightly more masculine, Precious Oud, than the Amber Fever. However, the whiskey note, if you enjoy perfumes like Invictus Intense, Amber Fever is for you. And if you enjoy more white floral and fresh scents, more gourmand and sweet with cakey notes, that means something that you can eat is edible. Precious Oud is the one, but I think this is a slightly more classy version. Because the tiramisu note is really in there. The sweetness from the tiramisu gives it more realistic, cakey white floral effect. And whereas this has whiskey and white floral, this has magnolia, which I quite enjoy, and I think it gives a more realistic creamy effect. So you got a sort of ice cream note, magnolia, you got the whiskey, and you have the sandalwood. So it's a realistic, fully rounded white floral perfume, much to the likes of Black Orchid, but slightly different, more whiskey and boozy. That's why I'm going to put it right there. And this is how I organize my own shelf, actually. Everything has a transition. Anyway, next one, raw vanilla, because I promised it, and that's what I talked about on the bus. I remember I mentioned it. Royal vanilla is fantastic because it has a pronounced oud note with violet and sandalwood. This is very rich, this is very accessible. That means it's not too exotic for most men to wear, and it will get you noticed because it lasts 9 hours without being overpowering and giving a regal violet finish. This violet is very creamy, soft, and fresh. And like the iris note, it exudes the confidence that a man is able to wear a slightly feminine note, but in a masculine and uh, masculine, restrained, and formal way that works with his style rather than just following the trends. Being somebody a little bit different and self-confident, let's say. I like the woody note of raw vanilla. I like the violet, that it doesn't make it more feminine, it doesn't make it too feminine, it really exudes the class of the perfume and it brings out the sour and exotic notes of the wood. The vanilla in here is strong, but it's not the star of the show. I think the star of the show is violet and that oud, and how it creates a dry woody effect whilst having a foundation woody effect whilst having the florals on top as a very complimentary note. Royal Vanilla is the formal fresh scent of the day. I'd heavily recommend that over Sauvage because, I mean, Sauvage everybody wears, but if you wear violet in this way, there is violet in Sauvage, but I think you would have the edge on most people with smoothness with Royal Vanilla. Now, that being said, if you're on a summer date and you want to grab attention and you want to be luxurious and you want to be out there and you don't care about what you're wearing, because some girls like on a first date somebody who's proud to be themselves and doesn't mind stealing the show, a bit of a showman maybe, I don't know. So if you feel like that, you can wear Jardin exclusive. I didn't bring this today with me because that's in another house, because I do wear that quite a bit when the sun pops out with that jasmine and apple, that fruity apple, celebratory apple and violet. But let's go the other way around because I've shown you quite a lot of violet scents. Mansura Sicily. No, not Sissy. I said Sicily, the country, or yeah, I thought it's a country, right? In Italy. Now, this is fruity notes of apple, orange, no, sorry, apple, orange, pineapple, lemon. Oh, I'm gonna have to spray this. Oh, it had white peach. That was the new one. White peach gives this a juicy, fresh burst of freshness with that bergamot. So bergamot's limey. We all know about that. It's a limey, fresh sort of scent. We mix lemon with that, and we got a bit of zing. We got orange. We got that juicy effect. You add pineapple, and you got that citrus tang going on. And then the white peach adds to the juice effects, but rounds it off by adding that watery juiciness. So it feels like all of these things are mixed into one and they blend together with that white peach. It feels like all of these fruits are present, yet they've become a juice because of the white peach. And that is fantastically fresh. You can go any holiday resort or anywhere and they'll say, wow, you smell absolutely scrumptious, because that is juicy, fresh. It is edible in a gourmand, realistically fruity way. I haven't ever smelt a scent, or I mean, this is the first. The only one is Soleil El Jada Afterglow, and the original one that is fantastic for its pineapple scent. But other than that, this is a very realistic fruity scent. So let me know what you think in the comment section, people. I'm sorry I took so long, but after all those scents are considered, I still take a little sample with me wherever I go, and I think that is the best date tip. Whatever you wear as a fragrance, always keep another fragrance with you. I keep a little sample. My sample right now is Comme des Garçons Man 2, because it is a fragrance I'll later actually buy, because after testing it, I decided to buy it. And I'm going to open that probably when I'm 35 as a little marker, because I already buy my own birthday present. So, enough about me. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Whatever you do, people, stay free and stay fresh. Oh, sorry if that was a long one, but I like to keep it comprehensive.